Welcome to the after party. Welcome to the after party. Did you bring some snacks and treats?
Yes, it did.
I hope you got me something to eat.
Maybe.
Welcome to the after party. Coming to the after party.
Right now.
I've been waiting here all day to act like a fool this way. Welcome to the after party. Join us in the after party.
Right now.
Oh, chocolate and gabbing, maybe some microphone gabbing at the after party.
With DJ Eric, Paige.
With us, with the two of us.
With
Yeah. Hello, everyone. This is actually exciting for me because today is the first after party with my new internet. So this is like a new thing for me. My internet is completely brand new. I fought with them so long between router changes, modem changes. Nothing ever fixed it, as you guys saw every single week. Yeah, I mean, every single week it was a problem. So I actually just got a completely different internet provider now. I was done.
He went to FlexNet.
Yeah, exactly. No, actually, it was like over the weekend, I just had enough. Like my internet went out on Saturday. Yeah, my internet went out on Saturday, and I was just like, all right, this is just bad. Called and called and called. Nothing fixed it. On Sunday, I had to do the Weekly Geekly using my phone's internet, which, by the way, is probably gonna. I don't even want to see my bill after doing that. But
all right, pay that.
Yeah. And so then I just called Verizon, which is another internet provider in my area, which actually does fiber optic. And I was like, look, I want to get a new service. Can you hook me up? This is what I do for a living. This is what I use my internet for. Excuse me. And they were like, yeah, sure. Absolutely. So they came over, and there's a couple things that they needed to do that they didn't have with them at the time. But overall, they got it done, got it set up. And so hopefully no more robot, no more.
No. Domi Arigato, Mr. Roboto. Is that what we're bailing from? No more of that?
Yeah, no more of that, hopefully.
Now we just got Papa Smurf.
Yeah, exactly. It's always doing something different. All right, so tonight we're going to talk about the Green Lantern tease from Supergirl. We'll talk about that by itself. Then we're going to talk about the Stargirl episode, and then I'm going to rant about the Supergirl episode.
Well, should we do I have an alternate version of Paige's pick this week.
Okay, what is the alternate version?
You'll have to share my screen.
Okay. Do you want to do that first then?
We'll do it now because I'd rather get it off my screen.
Okay, all right.
If that makes sense.
This is an alternate version of Paige's pick. So let's see, we'll share yours.
Okay, so this week FIFA 22 came out, so let's open a couple of packs here live on chat. Let's see what we can get.
Gosh.
I want to see if I can get some stream luck. Here we go. Okay, can we get anyone good? Okay, we got an inform. It's a shit one, but I'll take it. Install that in the club. I'll open two more. So I'll open two more. 3 is the lucky number in this case. Let's go. Stindl. He looks a bit like Eric. Actually, he looks a bit like
me. What?
That looks a bit like Eric. Udo Kai. Actually, that looks a bit like Eric. Anyway, one more after this. Let's go.
This is Paige. I forgot to put your Paige's pick thing up, but this is Paige's pick for the week.
Oh, I'll take that. Sweaty. Okay. Oh, that looks a bit like Ben. He's British. So yeah. Anyway, that's Paige's pick for this week.
That was the most like. Oh my goodness.
Hopefully you enjoyed that one. I know that's going to get the stream remonetized.
Is it?
Well, what happened here? Oh, there we go. It's like I thought my screen glitched out.
I did that so I can know when I go to do the stuff in the background of the video where it stops and starts. I wasn't planning on doing Paige's pick at the beginning, so that will help me.
Oh, so there was a
next
bit of a
episode.
curveball already.
There
in the
was,
after
there
party.
was, there was
Less than
absolutely
5 minutes into the after party, a curveball.
All right, we have a couple super chats. Let's get through these here. We got
Do you
one
have
from
music
Scott.
playing?
No, can you hear music?
Can anyone else hear music, or is that me? Is that coming from my computer?
Is it?
Can anyone else hear music, or is it just me? I need to know just so I know I can close something if I randomly got something open.
No, there is music playing in the background.
Okay.
I was gonna see how long I could go on with that, but you were gonna figure it out in a second anyway.
Well, no, because I was having a look. I was like, because I don't know what I got open on my computer.
No, when I was working earlier, I had my Spotify playlist playing, and I just haven't turned it off, so you can hear it in the background. That's why if you like listen, it's basically a royalty free. I'm trying to avoid copyright claims, so I feel like if I put royalty free music, that we won't get hit with if we hum something, they won't say.
I know everyone's wondering.
Yeah.
Do I have to ask the question?
What's that?
Does it induce intense twerking?
It can, yes, if the right song comes on. So we'll have to wait and see.
Well, get ready, people.
All right.
There's your warning.
Okay. Scott with the 49 super chat. I totally think someone will sacrifice themselves to help defeat Eclipso. What do you think the secret is Pat and Barbara are hiding? Well, we're not talking about Stargirl yet, but I mean, we can talk about this for a brief second. I don't know if anyone's going to sacrifice themselves. I mean, there's a lot of death, and I have some theories about what may happen later on in the season because we're at the halfway point, so we still have I think 7 more episodes to go.
6 more episodes.
6 more episodes.
Can you not count?
But yeah, so we've got some time. What do you think the secret is that Pat and Barbara are hiding? Do you have any theories on that? A lot of people are trying to say that Eclipso is Courtney's real father, and I'm like, that's weird. I
don't even know how that would make sense.
That's one that I've seen. So
no, because Barbara's keeping the secret that Pat told her. So it's not from Barbara's end; it's from Pat's end.
Yeah.
So I don't even know.
Well, we know it's not Starman being her real father because we've already established that's not.
No, true, so it's probably just. I don't know. It could be maybe what happened to the JSA, maybe specifically. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what it is. I really have no. I don't
think it's going to be. Much. I think once we find out what it is, it'll make it's not something where we're going to go, oh my god, there's no way that could be a thing or whatever. I think whatever they tell us is going to make sense and it's going to be relevant to it.
Yeah, and it might not be that big, but it warrants keeping it to themselves. Yeah.
Eclipso being Courtney's real father. That's.
I think someone might have been on the old.
That was weird.
The old wacky tobacco when they thought that one up.
Yeah. Scott here with the 199 super chat. Thank you again for the super chat. Will each guest here in Armageddon have a big role? I'm assuming that they're all going to be important, right? I mean, I feel like they're each going to. I mean, I
don't know if it's. Big's I don't think it's big. They
maybe big in the one episode, but not for the whole thing. I don't think.
If they're guests for a reason, they're not going to be big roles. But yeah, I think it might be an episode. There might be 1 or 2 that's in more than one episode, but yeah, I think by the looks of it, it's just going to be 1 episode each. Which, considering the premise for the crossover, potentially it makes sense that only be in 1 episode each, right? Or at the most to cut 1 or 2. But yeah, I wouldn't be expecting Ray Palmer to be the focus or anything like that.
All right. Cal with the 190 super chat. How are you guys doing? I'm doing quite well. I do have allergies right now, which are kicking my ass. But other than that, I'm doing good. This isn't the worst time of year for me. Here, when we go from summer into autumn or fall here in the US.
In the fall, man. In the fall.
I have to double up on my allergy medication because I'm allergic to dust mites. I'm highly susceptible to dust mites. And this time of year, that combined with the different things going on outside with the plants and flowers and the rest of the world or whatever causes me to have issues with my sinuses. So other than that gross detail, I'm doing pretty good. Paige, I'm assuming you are doing well in your lockdown over there still. So I'm guessing.
Well, I get my second vaccination in 2 days. So I'll be fully vaccinated in 2 days. So,
ooh.
And it's with Pfizer. So that's the epic flex.
Yeah. Is that a big flex?
Yeah. I didn't get the ones that make you
Yeah.
grow like an extra like eyeball or something, or whatever they are, extra nostril.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll happen. And I think they said when we get to 80% or 70%, then stuff starts to open up again. So hopefully that'll be in like 2 or 3 weeks after this weekend.
Surprisingly, here, I think the turning point for us is going to be when they allow the younger kids to get the vaccine, because we're so close to that percentage that they want to reach, that I think once the kids start getting the vaccine, we'll reach that amount. So that's kind of what we're waiting on, because some states are kind of screwed over at the moment. I don't want to talk too much about it because I know that'll immediately get my video.
Well, if you want to, you can go
but-
to Eric's politically based OnlyFans, where he goes on political rants. And well,
Yeah.
if you thought the after party was edgy,
Yeah. Clifford says, Eric, we did it. Azzy and Nicole's voices have been heard. The CW are now making promos for Supergirl. I know you doubt it, but when you have the cast support it, it can make it happen. I mean, we don't know. I mean, okay, it's not a bad thing, but we have no idea if that's actually what was the difference. Like, maybe there was a reason they weren't showing promos for like 3 weeks.
well, the thing is that the CW was all in their right to not promote. Like, I mean, it's the final season of his show. Like, what are you promoting? Who are you promoting it to?
Right.
The only thing is that, so like, I guess you can go, okay, that's what's in next week's episode, and
Yeah.
But
I
they're
mean,
still releasing promo images and stuff like that. It's just that they because you got to realize the promos aren't made for people on YouTube to watch. They're made so they air on TV through the week.
they don't even upload all of them to YouTube. That's the thing, is sometimes you have to wait till someone else uploads them to YouTube, which is
Or they're
weird.
different. Like,
Yeah.
so the one that they play on TV is like an extra couple seconds or a couple or some seconds.
I'm
shorter,
really happy to
longer.
get promos back, but I don't know who we should be thanking for that. I mean, maybe it was the.
Well, I know who we
cast
can be
that is,
thanking.
Who's that? Anybody in particular?
No, I just wanted to listen to the music for a bit. I just wanted everyone to shut up so I could just jam out a bit. I have no idea who.
thank whoever you want. We did it, right?
Well, okay, well, don't do that, because you might be thanking someone that doesn't deserve the thanks.
Thank Ben. Go over on Twitter.
No, do not thank Ben. How about we thank?
Yeah, we can thank Azzy.
You know what?
Good call, Clifford. We'll do Azzy.
No, we'll thank someone else. We'll thank. Actually, let's have a vote in the chat. Who do we thank? No one too edgy, but you can have some edge to it.
Ben always misses the after parties when Supergirl has a very hot topic episode. That's kind of the way it works.
Yeah, let's go. Let's thank me. We'll thank me. We'll say, yeah, okay, thank me. I'll take that. You know what? I feel like I'm not getting enough appreciation this month. So, Paige appreciation month.
You need to go hang out with the West. You need to go hang out with the West Island fans. I'm sure.
I would rather pull out all my toenails off. We got
Gary in the house. Gary, you're here at the beginning of the stream. It's been a while since you have been here at the beginning of the stream. He says, "Is Pat
at the end?"
Yeah, exactly. Is Pat a supervillain? No, I would say no. Probably not.
Pat Dugan, no. But is there a Pat? Is there a supervillain with the name Pat?
Not sure.
Maybe you should do some googling.
Maybe. Catagraph says hashtag thank you Benjamin Archibald Rolfe and only him. Wow. All right, well, there we go. Look, thank you Iris.
Well, you can thank Iris. I mean, I don't think she gets enough thank you. Usually it's usually something else, you Iris. But
Pat Sajak, that's funny. All right, so let's talk a little bit about we're gonna talk about the Green Lantern stuff first, because that's kind of its own separate thing.
Edgy.
We'll talk about that first. So if you watched last night's Supergirl, you know that Diggle was in the episode in a really good, solid role. I think that this was another episode where he was much more a part of what was actually happening, instead of just kind of like with Superman and Lois, where he showed up for like a scene, or Batwoman, where he showed up for a scene. So he's much more involved in it. And you don't usually see that with the person directing the episode. That's usually not the case, but I mean, it can happen, I suppose. We thought we were going to get him in the Green Lantern suit. A lot of people thought he was going to be flying around with his ring and creating constructs, but that's not what happened. You didn't watch Supergirl, but you did watch the clip of him talking about it, right? You saw that?
The clip about talking about what?
about what he decided to do with the ring, like, or the conversation that he had with Kelly. You didn't see that?
No, the clip I saw is that he comes in after, I guess it's after she's been guardian for the first time, and she says, "Good work, guardian." He says, "Good work, guardian," and then leaves. He says, like,
And
James
then
would be proud or
worlds
something.
await or something.
And then he goes past Brainy and says, "Got somewhere to be, worlds await." That was
Right.
it. Like that was the thing on Twitter I saw.
So there was another clip in the episode where he's talking to Kelly and he's trying to comfort her. What's up?
Oh no, someone said that Ben's a West Allen fan. He's an undercover West Allen fan. He shit talks West Allen in the DM. So but that's the whole
hashtag
meme.
Exposed.
That's the meme with Ben. Like the West Allens don't know.
Yeah, hashtag Exposed. So but he's talking to Kelly. Yeah, what's up?
Spider on your wall.
Is there? And he tells Kelly that he had to make a decision whether or not to take an offer or be there for his wife and his family. So they tease that he made a decision, but we don't know what that decision was. And I don't know about the rest of the chat, but I am so over whatever they're doing here. Like, just, do you think they're saving this for something next season?
I think the issue is that I think if it was just one or two guest appearances, it'd be fine. But they highlighted, he's a guest appearing in 5 episodes. 4 is Diggle, 1 is some random not random, like it was Bass Reeves. Is that his name? Yeah. So 4 is Diggle, 1 is a historical figure, which won't have anything to do with the major storyline. But 2 out of those 4 Diggle appearances are pointless. Like, you don't need that Batwoman appearance for the Flash appearance. And then I guess the Flash appearance leads into the Supergirl appearance by the sounds of it. And the Superman Lois appearance was pointless as well. Outside of like just
because it doesn't matter. He was there, but it has nothing to do with anything that was going on.
Yeah, it could have been anyone else that came and delivered that thing. Like like it didn't have to be Diggle.
It could have been James Olsen. It could have been anybody.
It could have been literally Bobby McGee.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have any lines. You just see him dropping it off.
Cupid. So. Could have been anybody.
What, stupid Cupid or just Cupid?
Could have been Mia. Could have been anyone that.
Well, no, okay. You've gone too far. So you've gone too far there. But like, I think that's the frustration because they advertise it as well. Like I don't know if I think the errors they made was making a big deal of it because if it just happened, and I'm not saying it was a surprise every episode, but if we knew he was appearing, but we'd have this big lead up where it was going to. If you go back to that press statement, they said they're going to like sort of follow on from the events of the Arrow series finale and that choice he made, or the choice he made following that. If they didn't advertise it that way, the frustration wouldn't be there. And the thing is that David Ramsey has said in interviews leading up to this that it continues past this. So I don't know if that means we see him this. I'd assume it means we see him this season, whether it's on all the shows or just the Flash or whatever. Well, obviously not Supergirl because F in the chat, but like. I'm intrigued to see where it goes, but at the same time, hopefully they don't hype up the appearance. Everyone's expecting him to fly in with a projected green hammer or something like that.
Well, the thing is that the conversation he had with Kelly in this episode makes me believe that he turned it down. So why are we still teasing it? That's my problem. And when Brainy looked at him after he said that, it's almost like people assume that Brainy knows that he does become Green Lantern. But if that's the case, then why are we dragging this on? It just seems really pointless to me. So I would love to see it. Are we actually going to get it? What does the chat think? I don't know.
Here's the big question. Would you rather get the payout for this Diggle storyline or a double bacon cheeseburger? A good one, not a shit one.
Double bacon cheeseburger, I think is what I prefer. So,
ooh. I'll tell you what, they've opened up Five Guys in Australia.
Ooh, my favorite burger place. The
first one opened up in Australia, except it's out of my region. I can't travel there. It's because of the lockdown, it's illegal for me to go there.
Right.
But it's like
so it's not in Sydney proper? Is that
it's in Western Sydney. It's in a place called Penrith.
Okay. Well.
but
F's
I
in the
think
chat
the
for
opening
Paige you not
one's
being able to
soon.
get Five Guys. F's in the chat.
Well, it depends, because I must say I've had Five Guys in LA and Five Guys in New York, and
Is
it
that a
tastes much
flex
different. Well,
that
in
you've had
LA,
at both places?
in LA, it's much different than the New York one.
Mhm.
It tastes different,
It's probably
and the
because
quality is
it
different.
was vegan meat, probably. Is that a
I
thing?
don't know. I just
Vegan
know
meat?
that the New York Five Guys is better than the LA one.
Well, that's because the East Coast has the best burgers. That's
But then again,
odd.
I did have them like 6 years apart or something, 7 years apart from each
Mm.
other. But I remembered it being much better than what I had in LA.
Well, then you have to do a review on Five Guys in Australia when you have it. Then.
Well, the thing is that we have better quality meat here anyway, so it might just automatically be better.
We'll see. We'll see. Gary's got a $1 super chat. Are you mad at me? No. And he says, Paigey, follow me. Are you not following Gary on Twitter? What is going on?
I'm not following anyone. I think I'm following like 69 people. I'm following 47. Because the thing is, on my old Twitter, I used to always make sure I was following exactly 420 people. But now, I can't remember who I followed. So now I follow I think you and a couple of other people, and then just like the news things and like the accounts for the shows.
Are you ready for this heat? $5 from Joe says, you're way off on that page. Mia Smoke was the best addition to Arrow. Is that legitimate? Is that a real
Hold on.
take?
Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to assume Joe's in America based off the junior at the end of the name.
Okay.
And it's it's opposite day. 22nd of September is opposite day.
Yeah. Thank you for the super chat. Cody says they're very much taking the Sam becoming Cap route. But the only difference is that Diggle becoming Green Lantern will never have the same payoff as Sam becoming Captain America. It's just never going to happen. If Diggle becomes Green Lantern, he will be a guest on a show because they're not going to be giving Diggle his own Green Lantern show.
Yeah,
and we know Sam's getting a Captain America movie. So I wish that were the case, but I feel like they're not going to go that far with it. David Ramsey, where was it at? David Ramsey confirms he's not. Yeah, I know that. And as he knows what's going on, well, I'm pretty sure a lot of the people there have an idea of what's actually happening. We just are not privy to it because that would be spoiling everything. So
spoilers.
All right, so let's talk about Stargirl this week. We had Summer School Chapter 7. And hello, Dinah. How are you? Avier, limited series would be cool. It would. Introverted Unicorn, I saw stopped in. Thank you so much for being here. Let's do the spoiler tag here for Stargirl. Episode 7. Summer School Chapter 7, obviously. And this is the follow-up to that huge episode we have last week where Eclipso got released from the Black Diamond, and we had one of the best fight scenes we ever had in the Arrowverse. I kind of anticipated this week was going to be more of a story-driven episode with not so much action because of how much they had in the previous. I would have been really surprised if we would have had two like really big action episodes back to back. So this one dealt more with like obviously Yolanda and the trauma that she's dealing with after Brainwave and how it's affecting her, and we have to figure out what's going on there. Is it Brainwave? Is it Eclipso? I don't really have an answer for that yet because I'm not totally sure. But that's what we're dealing with. And I have to say, Yvette this was her best acting on the show to date in this episode. I think she absolutely killed it. I think she gave us just enough. She wasn't overacting. She restrained it when it needed to be restrained. She was big when it needed to be big. And I think that her dealing with this trauma of what happened with Brainwave and everything that happened with Henry Jr. and all of that, it all really worked for me. And this episode was probably the scariest episode we've had so far. What did you think about it? Do you agree with any of that? Or
yeah, I thought it was a very good character-based episode. Because it didn't really push too much in regards to the story with Eclipso or anything like that, outside of the stuff happening with Mike, which really wasn't massive anyway.
Right.
It was just more, sort of planting a seed as to what they're going to do. So it was sort of like, and I think it was a good episode to take that breather to allow the fallout from last season to still play out, because so much was happening at the beginning of the season. They never really got a chance to address that, but they allowed it to brew up. So you felt that like almost explosion when it all just came out with
Right.
Yolanda's character. I'm sure it's going to happen next week with Rick's or Our Man's episode as well. So yeah, I thought it was done really, really well, and I thought she acted really, definitely a best acting performance. I guess aside, alongside the Wildcat episode last season.
Flash Freak, can we please get a rendition of Hot in Here? No, we cannot. We cannot do that.
Hot in.
No, definitely not that. So everybody seems to agree. Yolanda was awesome. It's really difficult when you're a character that hasn't gotten a lot this season, because honestly, Yolanda and Rick have kind of just been around, and you have to take a whole episode, put that on your shoulders and carry the whole episode.
But the thing is that though they haven't had oh my god, here's an episode on Yolanda, here's an episode on Rick and stuff like that, we know what's been going on with them. So it's not like this is just coming out of the blue and slapping us across the face.
Right.
Like we know that Yolanda's been struggling. We know that Rick's been going to see Grundy.
Right.
And that he's still struggling with.
I think Yolanda's, we've actually had a little bit more with Yolanda than we've had with Rick, though. I think Yolanda's story is a bit more.
But I think that's because she's best friends with Courtney.
Probably. But I still feel like Rick has received the least amount of story this season so far.
Yeah. Well, out of the JSA, definitely. Like Mike's got more than Rick. So
yeah. Yolanda's mom. Oh my God. So I remembered in season 1, we got that episode where we got to meet her family, and we saw the condition that she was in, like being with her family, and what happened with the photograph and all of that, and how her family treated her. Like, you would think that her mother would have kind of like warmed up to her a little bit over a couple years, but she's still awful.
She's horrible.
She is absolutely horrible.
This Mother of the Year award, she's finishing dead last.
Like, I can't imagine. So, my mother was always very supportive of me, like in everything that I did, whether it be art, dancing, singing, whatever it was that I was doing.
Oh, hold on.
She was
dancing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you've set yourself up for an expose.
No, I actually in high school I took dance for like 3 years. So so there we go.
Well, you've now lit the chat up. You've lit the chat's brains up with that.
Yeah, so like
my imagination
completely sidetracking from Stargirl here. In high school, I used to produce my own music, write my own songs, and dance. And I actually won my school's talent show 3 out of the 4 years that I was in upper class school and high school. And the year that I didn't win, I got second place, and I won the talent show at the rival school by making my own music and singing and dancing. So I was pretty much into it.
Was this recorded on tape?
I actually, not all of them, but I do have one of them. I think on VHS. I'd have to transfer it over to digital. So, but I could do that. I could just plug my.
we need some show and tell.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty interesting. Oddly enough, I actually had the 2 girls that used to dance with me, because they were like backup dancers to the routine or whatever. I'm still friends with them. Like, we still chat and stuff now. And the other guy that used to perform with me, he did like one of the years where I had like another person that was there with me when I was performing. And he still lives local and everything. He doesn't do anything art related anymore, but that was just pretty funny. So anyway, it's totally, completely detached from the story here. But getting back to Yolanda's mother, it was a complete opposite of my mom. She literally wants to make Yolanda feel like shit. I mean, that's pretty much what she does. And when Courtney calls at the end, because of course Yolanda at the end decides that she doesn't want to talk to anybody from the JSA, and she feels like Courtney's responsible for her, which by the way is so stupid, because she clearly wanted to be Wildcat in season 1, but she was blaming Courtney for everything that's happened to her. And when Courtney calls and her mother picks up, her mother blames Courtney for everything too, which is awful. I'm like, this is just awful.
And she's manipulative,
and then she calls her job and tells them that I'm assuming that was her mother that called the job and said that she wasn't going to be there anymore. I'm just like, this is really bad. So we know Yolanda's going to be kind of detached from the JSA for a bit, maybe a couple episodes or something, because we're getting Rick next week. So I'm assuming the Yolanda thing won't be resolved in next week's episode. It probably won't be resolved until after the flashback episode, or I think we're assuming a flashback episode in episode 9. So I'm guessing that's what's going to happen. Any thoughts on this? Because her mother was awful. And what do you think is going on with her, like quitting the JSA, quitting, I guess, for a bit? Do you think it's going to drag it out, or do you think it's like a couple episodes she's going to be back? What do you think they're going to do with that?
I don't know. Like her mother is just a piece of work. Like even like the worst thing I've ever done, my mum's never been angrier than like a couple of days. And I was a fucking idiot when I was a kid.
Well, didn't her mother like give her a bunch of shit because she kept calling her like a slut or something in season 1 because of the pictures and everything? Wasn't that one of the things she did?
Oh,
It's
I
just
don't
awful.
know. Like,
That's
yeah,
awful. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that episode again.
yeah. Like, I can't think of anyone that I know whose mother is like that. Like, anyway, piece of work and just definitely bottom of the ladder in regards to Mother of the Year.
Yeah.
In regards to the Wildcat stuff in the JSA, I think she'll come back to it. I think I wonder if there's like a turning point where she has to,
Right.
if that makes sense. I wonder because in the comics, her cousin becomes Eclipso. Now in the comics, I think it's Alex is the cousin's name. In the show, it's her brother. So I wonder if her brother gets infected by Eclipso or corrupted by Eclipso, and that's why she decides to come back. Because that would be like, referencing the comics without necessarily straight up adapting it.
Right.
But it would be like, obviously, I mean, she would definitely go back to being Wildcat and helping out if her brother or maybe her entire family was, or get to the point maybe the entire town is corrupted by him.
Yeah.
Because we don't know how slow or fast it's going to build up, but I think eventually she'll come back into it. But I wonder if that's how maybe like Jakeem Thunder comes back into it, because I'd be short staffed.
Yeah, last time we were watching it, I was like, I wonder when he's going to come into it, because
we know he
it's been a couple
filmed stuff.
episodes.
The actor said he filmed stuff for it. Like he filmed night scenes and stuff.
It also made me wonder, like, is he just not using the Genie at all? Because nothing has happened with the Genie since he went to Jakeem. So I'm wondering if he's just really good with the Genie, because the Genie immediately wanted Mike to start making wishes. So I'm like, why is that not happening with?
Well, I guess the thing is that they're not at school, so it's not like he'd be coming to school with a pink pen, and he's probably just at home.
Yeah, but you don't think there'd be weird stuff happening, like stop signs piling up somewhere, and they'd be like, well, that's obviously the Genie, right?
But didn't like when his sister come in, doesn't he? I guess he's doing that, like the paper route and stuff like that, but he probably lives in like a different part of Blue Valley than what Mike does.
Maybe, but they know the pen is missing. You think they'd be
but they don't know necessarily went to anywhere in Blue Valley.
Yeah, but I would still feel like that would be on their radar. Like they'd be like, well,
oh yeah, but I think they're not coming. They haven't come across it. Yeah, we know Jakeem and Mike were friends in season 1.
Yeah.
But we don't know that they've noticed anything, and that might be the case in episode 9, 10, 11 or something. They see like a giant gummy bear. I'm like, why the hell's a giant gummy bear on the street?
Well, what I'm assuming is that Jakeem is just better with the Genie, so it's not as noticeable as when Mike was doing stuff with it. So that's the only thing I can think of. You're right. Maybe we'll find out. It's kind of weird to me that nothing has jumped out as being like the news hasn't reported on something weird happening or whatever. Joe here says her mom is being manipulated by Eclipso. $5 super chat. I don't doubt that other people are also being manipulated by Eclipso, but her mother was awful before Eclipso. So
it's not like it's Barbara becomes that.
Right. Her mother's just awful in general. I don't think anybody would argue that her mother has been bad to her since the first season. So, it's just
just saw that thing in the chat.
Yeah.
Eclipso is controlling my mother thing.
Oh my God. Carrigraph says you never invite him on stream anymore. Beef confirmed. Total beef. Rat battle confirmed. I don't know about that. No, Canadagraphs is always busy. He's always on set right now.
We actually talked about it. It's because there was the new political stuff that came out with the prime ministers of the UK and Australia, and then Eric's mate Joe Biden, and that's now the Holy Trinity. Unfortunately, Canada's outside that Holy Trinity, so it can only be Australians, United States of Americans, and or aka Ben, aka the UK. Okay. So if you find anyone in that Holy Trinity that can slot in, then feel free. Otherwise, we're breaking a political treaty. And look, I don't want to get fined, aka Guantanamo Bay. I don't want to
confirmed. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the trauma that was going on with Yolanda, because we got to see Brainwave and Brainwave Jr. back again in her mind. And I'm a little bit confused.
As
Are we
always.
to believe that I'm always confused? Are we to believe that Brainwave has actually implanted his consciousness in Yolanda, or is this Eclipso doing it?
I think it was just Yolanda in her head.
You think it's trauma?
I think it's trauma. She was because she had the visions before Eclipso, so she was already suffering that. So I think it was just built up trauma, and maybe that thing with Brainwave where he said his mind went into her is like maybe resonant, but I don't know. I think it was. I personally think it was all in Yolanda's head for the most part.
Mm-hmm. It was good seeing them back, though. I mean, I
Oh
remember
yeah,
how frightening
100%.
they
It was
were.
cool to see
So,
them back, but I don't know if you gave me like $10 and I had to make a choice, I think I'd be putting my money on it was just all in her head. Especially because the whole baggage was her being Wildcat, and that was
right.
like so. If it all stops once she hangs up the Wildcat thing and she's not doing it anymore, then it was all in her head.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, I think what was really cool about this episode in terms of like the writing is the nuance with the trauma, because Yvette did something that a lot of actors when they're doing this kind of story don't do, and that is she made it feel like it was a real trauma that she was suffering. Like there wasn't a lot of overacting. Yes, there were big moments where she was totally frightened and scared, but there was also somber moments, like when she was at the diner dealing with that customer who's always being an asshole to her. And then she sees, Kid Eclipso there. Of course, she doesn't know that it's Kid Eclipso, but she sees that. It freaks her out. But because she's already dealing with the trauma, she just assumes that it's all in her head as usual. That scene, though, by the way, when he vanished and then it started like zooming slowly into the window, I couldn't figure out where he was for a second. And then I kind of saw him sitting there. I'm like, that was really scary. Like the cinematography was great.
Were you #shooketh?
I was shooketh. I almost think the little kid is scarier than Eclipso is when he's in his normal form.
Oh no, 100%. He's the creepiest little kid, or at least he puts it on extremely well. Whoever cast him nailed it, because honestly, I would rather have Eclipso be my sleep paralysis demon than that little kid doing the creepy laugh. And even more at the end of the episode, they even just this little thing just shows how psychotic he was. He was chewing the lollipop. He wasn't sucking it. He was chewing the lollipop.
Right. Look, here we got Amethyst. The kid is scary. Daniela, the laugh is creepy AF. The kid's laugh is insane. Kids are always scary.
No, kids can be just incredibly creepy if they want them to be creepy.
Yeah.
Kids can either be, the most lovable type of people, or they can just honestly, I would rather be facing Godzilla in like a clown mask, scary clown mask, Pennywise Godzilla, something like that.
You know what else was creepy about that scene? And if you go back and you watch it, and everybody, you'll have to do this, go back and watch that scene, is when it shows Yolanda and baby Eclipso, or Bruce Gordon as a kid, I guess, in that shot. When they film them, it's like a straight on shot with the two of them on each side and this big space in the middle, and it's very quiet. I was like, this looks great. I rarely get excited about cinematography on TV shows because it's like, is it good? Is it bad? It's whatever. But in this episode, a lot of the camera angles, a lot of the framing, it was almost like a scary film to me. Like this episode was kind of, if you take away the elements of it being Stargirl and you were just adapt what happened in this episode, I think it would work as just a scary movie. It was just scary to me. The whole thing was, and they didn't need any fighting for it or whatever. And we did get a little bit of fighting at the end with in Yolanda's head and everything. But outside of that, it's just great. And all the shows like Stargirl, Superman and Lois, a lot of the Marvel shows that are on streaming and whatnot now, it's like they understand how to raise the quality while still retaining the same like feeling of the characters. Whereas the older shows that we have that are still around, like Legends and Supergirl and Flash, it's almost like they don't know how to get to that level as the newer shows do. Like Superman and Lois and Stargirl both, it's like they can do all of the high-end things, but they don't sacrifice script, they don't sacrifice cinematography, they don't sacrifice visual effects. But these other shows do. And it makes me a little bit worried about like upcoming seasons of some of our like legacy shows, the ones that we've been watching for a while, because I don't know if they'll ever get to this point like Stargirl did. Because this season of Stargirl is just killing it in a way that I don't think we've seen on any of the other network shows, in terms of the way, how scary everything is, and the writing and the characters and the acting. It's just above board. Like, if you were to go ahead like 10 years and come back to this era, Stargirl is a show that I think you would remember. And I think most people would say it was high quality, right?
Stargirl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a completely different thing than what we've got from any of the other shows.
Well, I've said this before, but one of the big things is time. All the other shows, they do go and they have a lot of more prep time.
Mhm.
Like Stargirl, especially, like everyone like their budget isn't ridiculously high, but
Right.
it looks better because they spend more time. Sorry, my phone was going off. They spend more time prepping it all in different areas, whether it is
Mhm.
the previs with the fight scenes and everything like that, which every thing that does a stunt thing does a previs, but they actually do like a CG, like an actual animated previs, not
Mhm.
just like a previs for the Flash, for example, and a lot of other shows is just the stunt actors go in and they do the stunts, but not in their suits, and they do it
Mhm.
everything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just comes down to time for the most part.
I would say Batwoman looks good, but Batwoman still has the writing issues that the other CW shows have. Maybe they'll fix that in season 3. I don't know. Batwoman still has that almost like old school writing team with the pep talks, the way they break up the stories, the love interest stuff. All of that is like old school CW. But visually, I think Batwoman is fine. I like the costumes. I think the lighting and the cinematography has been good, except for a couple episodes. But the thing is, writing is something that doesn't require anything except like getting the right people in there to put these stories together. Like, I understand the special effects and everything like that. I get it. But the writing doesn't need to be bad on a show just because it isn't getting as much money as like another, more CGI VFX heavy show. So, Joe, $5 super chat. Okay, how are you doing that with your beard? Is it digital? Last week it was red and today it's blue. Also, what's your opinion on the new Guardian suit? Okay, so my beard is a temporary vegan color that I use, so that when I put it in, it lasts for like a day or 2 days, and then when I wash it out, I can put another color in. So it changes very quickly and very often. And opinion on the new Guardian suit. It's okay. I mean, I thought it was all right when I first saw it. I'm not a big fan of the helmet, but it's okay. I think the gold was probably the biggest problem I had with it, because it just didn't look gold. It looked like gold paint.
It's not gold. It's like
right.
It's like plastic crown from Toys R Us gold.
Yeah, that's my only issue. But I like the design of it. I think it's fine. I like it better than the original Guardian suit, the one that James had.
But that was the same issue. That was like plastic sword from.
It was supposed to be silver or
Toys
metal,
R Us,
and it wasn't that. So, Mike here with the One Eye Super Chat. Stargirl, Superman, and Lois have more money and less episodes. Yeah, but I'm not talking about things that require either of those to be important. Like, writing is just getting the right people in there to write for the show.
And the episode count doesn't really factor into it at all in regards. Yeah. Well, at least I guess with the writing, but in regards to how it looks, it doesn't.
When we get to Supergirl, I'll go over my thoughts like in comparison to like Stargirl and the other shows, because I did have some issues with some of the things that happened. But like, I understand what you're saying, and I agree in some regard. These things do play into it, but I think when it comes to the writing, it's just having the right people and the right amount of like scrutiny on the scripts before they leave the office and they go into the hands of the actors.
Eric, okay, hypothetical situation. The CW heads lose their minds. They allow you and me to write an episode. What's the premise?
Of what? Of what show?
Oh, let the chat decide.
What show would we write an episode of, and maybe we'll have a conversation about it in the stream, live, in front of an audience. So,
also, do you think this might be a good idea if we're like before the Flash comes back? So in like one of the in the next month or two, maybe just before fandom or something, should we do a live script read of a terrible Flash episode? I'm thinking Girls Night Out and/or Run Iris Run.
Are they available online?
I think so. I think we'll be able to find them.
Oh, that would be good. Cal with One Eye Super Chat. The Stargirl have 13 episodes this season.
Yes.
Yes.
That's why we said episode 7's the halfway point.
Yeah. So we're seeing a few choices here. We got Flash, we got Batwoman, Legends, Green Arrow and the Canaries. Oof.
I can imagine Legends.
Flash Legends. Well, for Legends, I'd have to recast so many people. Like it would be, I wouldn't even be able to work with the people. Like if they called me up and said, "Hey, do you want to write an episode of Legends?" I'm like, "Can I just swap characters out?" That's what I say. Oh, Avier says a musical episode. I don't know about that one. Well, we would pick better songs for sure.
Well,
yeah,
I'm thinking, what about a Flash musical episode? No original songs, but it's all thug rap and K-pop.
Well, that could be like the blending of Megan Thee Stallion and BTS because they did a song together. So maybe that's the.
I don't know if Megan Thee Stallion is thug rap.
Well, no, but it's still like hip hop and K-pop. So, Amethyst here with the 49 super chat. What was the possible Diggle Green Lantern news? I had to step away my door when you discussed it. Well, we were just talking about the possibilities from the info we got from Supergirl that what's going to happen with Green Lantern in the future and whether or not it's going to be worth it in the end. And I think we came to the conclusion that for me personally, I don't know if all this buildup is worth it. I know some people are really excited to see him as Green Lantern and maybe he will put on the ring at some point, but I just feel like they've been dragging it on quite a bit. And I guess the other news was that Diggle or David came out and said that they're not done with the story yet and they're going to continue on into next season or something. So that's kind of what it is. It wasn't a lot. We were just kind of speculating on what we heard and our thoughts on the Supergirl episode. But thank you for the super chat. Why are people spamming? I don't know. I'm not sure why.
It's the long-awaited answer.
Yeah, I guess we'll figure it out here in a second. But yes, please, you don't have to spam. Okay, so the other thing we got was the stuff with Mike, where they were working on Stripe, and the black diamond sort of shimmered, and he walks over to it, and he pulls it apart, and it pulls itself back together, and then he starts to see leeches on his body. I have a theory on that, but I don't know if my theory is right, because maybe the comics has more that I just don't know about, because I didn't make it this far into the story, so maybe, unless this is brand new to, like, the Stargirl comic books, but... I think the Black Diamond wants to form back together. It's being drawn back together, and Eclipso gave Mike those visions so he would stop trying to do that. Because I can't imagine the Diamond is doing that to him, right?
But it's also important to remember he made one of the diamond shards into that thing that absorbs Cindy, so they wouldn't have another piece until they get Cindy back, wouldn't they?
Right, but what I'm saying is I thought that he was trying to keep Mike from figuring, because I think Mike would have probably realized and told them that the diamond wants to be back, to be reformed or whatever, because he pulled it away, it kept coming back. I mean, they made a whole scene out of it, so I thought it was an important moment. So
maybe it is,
maybe it's not,
it isn't. You never know.
Maybe the diamond just likes to be close to each other. Maybe they have a little relationship. I don't know,
separation anxiety or something.
Yeah, maybe. Joe with a $5 super chat that's completely not about Stargirl. Don't you dare recast Sarah Lance, but I'd bring back season 4 Zari and get rid of the ditzy Zari. Well, I can't comment on much of the Zari stuff because I haven't watched the last bit of the season.
I have some inside information. This is a bit of an exclusive.
Okay.
Eric told me it would just be a cast full of variant Monas.
Or Gary's, maybe?
No, just variant Monas.
That's
so it's Monas from across the multiverse.
All werewolves.
Multiverse of Mona. Not multiverse of madness.
I wouldn't recast Sarah Lance, but clearly she's not the same Sarah that we knew from the Arrowverse. She's changed way too much. I'd probably want to bring her back to what she was before. Mike Glenn, both Stargirl and Superman and Lois are not really CW shows. I mean, yes, technically they are an adjacent show to the CW, but the CW has been consistently raising the bar for their shows. So a lot of the newer shows, not just Arrowverse shows, but a lot of their newer shows
hold on.
Are better.
What are they then?
You can't say they're one or the other. They're also not just HBO Max shows either. So
they got to be one. They can't just be. What do they air on first?
The CW.
Yeah, so they're a CW show.
I mean, I guess so. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
It's like all the other shows went to Netflix before, and they got money from Netflix.
Yeah.
So, were they a Netflix show? No, they're a CW show.
So, Canada Graphs with the hot take. The Sarah we knew in the Arrowverse was recast once already, so why not again? Ooh, I don't know how people are going to feel about that. So, anything else in this episode to go over? Because we spent like 30 some minutes talking about it. I think it was a really solid episode. I think the nuanced stuff with the trauma and everything was very well done. It was scary.
Ooh, spooky.
It was good.
Would you say it was spooky, Eric?
Yes, I would say it's spooky.
Ooh, he was scared.
I'm curious what the chat thinks, though. What would you score Stargirl out of a 1 to 10? I'm very curious. Also, my Stargirl review.
Uh-oh.
I recorded it last night. If you're a Team Eric member, you would have been in the live stream last night. I recorded it. I uploaded it. I had it scheduled to go out, and YouTube blocked it. It is blockety block. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do with that because it is just sitting there waiting. So there we go.
Blockety block.
Yeah, there we go.
Jenny from the block.
I know.
Eric got blocked.
Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got.
The twerks that you got? Maybe a lot. What? I don't know. Was there intense twerking in the video?
No, there was not.
No,
there could have been. There could have been.
There could have been. Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. All right, so Paige has not seen Supergirl.
LOL.
I don't think he cares. So
I'm going to be devastated when you spoil it for me right now.
Yeah,
I'm going to be crying.
Yeah, well, YouTube, it said it was blocked for being, I don't remember what it is. I don't feel like
Edgy.
looking it up. So yeah, edgy was why it was blocked. But we need to figure out what it is. Inappropriate or something like that. YouTube doesn't like me. I've pretty much established that I am always going to be the Keemstar of the Arrowverse. That's just kind of the way it is.
Edge boy.
Always. All right, so this week's Supergirl was, I don't even know what the title was. I don't even know what it was.
Memes.
Yes. So it had the Green Lantern stuff with Diggle, the non-Green Lantern stuff with Diggle that just teased us. But it also continued the story that's been going on for, I think, about 4 episodes now, which is the stuff with Kelly moving into the role of Guardian and the stuff with Nixley and the stuff with the folks that were in prison and are out and trying to have housing. Like it's that same sort of storyline that's continuing to happen. But outside of the Green Lantern stuff, the main story we're dealing with is Kelly. And chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Azzy was the writer of this episode.
Co-writer.
Right? She was a writer. She wasn't the only one, though, right?
No, she I think with a normal Supergirl writer.
Okay. So a lot of this was stuff that she really felt strongly about. The intent behind this episode, the actual context of it, everything that happened, I think is super relevant because they dealt with like a lot of stuff in one episode. But Supergirl is still doing, for me personally, what it's been doing pretty much this entire season. And that is not sticking the landing for me. They have a lot of really good ideas. They have a lot of strong character moments. They have a lot of great like things that they want to take from the real world and bring them to attention on the show. My issue is it's just not as polished as it could be. And that doesn't take away from how important the topics are and how important the subject matter is, because I truly believe that people sometimes can't separate the subject matter from the execution, right? So I think that's kind of the issue. And Supergirl does this a lot, where they'll do an episode that has a very important topic, and therefore people don't want to talk badly about it because they're like, it's an important issue and it should be discussed. But the episode didn't really do it for me. So I feel like a lot of people shy away from that. But for me, I think outside of that, I had a lot of issues with the way this episode was done. Because if you're already watching Supergirl, if you're a viewer of Supergirl, you're someone that's very invested in these characters and in the show, you're already an ally. You're already someone who supports a lot of the social issues that Supergirl really likes to inject into the show. And episodes like this, I can't remember where I heard this quote before, but you want to feel like you're a passenger in the car listening to the story and not like you're being preached to. Because when you get preached to, you immediately get defensive. You immediately turn off the ability to take in any of the information that's being given to you. So having a conversation about something versus like reading someone's Facebook wall or reading something on Instagram or something like that, there's a disconnect a lot of times. And for me, as someone who already supports, diversity and inclusivity and all of the stuff that Supergirl stands for, I feel like the writing just wasn't at the level that it needed to be for me personally. I think Azzy did an amazing job. And matter of fact, her acting was so much bigger than everyone else's. I felt like it was here and everybody else was down here. They were not giving as much energy as she was in the episode. So that kind of bugged me a little bit as well. The other issue I had with it was that we were treating our hero characters, everyone except for Kelly, as if they were not good people. And that's an issue because they all are. They're all people that have sacrificed things. They're all people that have been trying to do the right thing. And the episode was directed and written in a way where Kelly was being treated as if no one cared about her, but we know that's not true. We know that everyone in that team cares about Kelly. So when she was on the phone with them and when she was having conversation with them and it seemed like they were doing something else, it seemed as if we were supposed to not like Supergirl. We're supposed to not like Nia. We're supposed to not like Brainy, or we're supposed to have an issue with Alex. I just don't understand why that energy wasn't directed towards characters that don't care. Because we know the team does. So it's hard for me as a viewer to go, yeah, they don't give a shit. Supergirl doesn't give a shit. Because just the previous episode, Supergirl was there, boots on the ground with Kelly, with Orlando, fighting for that community. She was there fighting with this councilwoman to get housing for the people in that community. And then one episode later, she doesn't care. That was kind of an issue for me as a viewer because it took me out of the story a little bit. Mike here with the 49 super chat. It goes back to what you said about the lack of being focused on aliens being black or being an ex-con. Kelly said the aliens were her people. Exactly. So here's another thing with that. They actually addressed something that I'm glad they addressed in the episode. In the episode, when Supergirl is talking to Kelly, they have a very good conversation, a very impassioned conversation with each other, where Supergirl goes to talk to Kelly to address all of these issues, all of the problems that had happened throughout the episode. And Kelly addressed the fact that Supergirl, even though she's an alien, she doesn't look like the other aliens that live in this community. And that is something that had bothered me for like 3 episodes now, since we've been talking about the subject. So I'm glad they addressed that. But here's the deal. Kelly's not an alien. So what thing are we supposed to grab onto there? Is it supposed to be because they're aliens? Is it supposed to be because they look like people of color? I'm not sure what that intention was. Because telling Supergirl that she doesn't care about aliens because she doesn't look like the people in that community, but Kelly not being an alien and she does look like the people in the community, it's like, which one of those are we? It was tough for me to figure out what direction we were going with that. I'm glad they addressed it though. I thought it was good that they did cover that. But it was just kind of wild. And then Kelly, the reason Kelly was mad at Supergirl, the entire argument that started all of this was when Nixley was attacking Supergirl and she had to call Mixie to help her and the building collapsed and people were hurt. Kelly helped the people that were there, or at least 2 of the people there, taking them to the hospital. She was mad because Supergirl didn't come to the hospital. But my question is, and this is for everybody in the chat, what could Supergirl have done at the hospital that would have been more important than going after Nixley? Before we even talk about the rest of the story, where it goes from there, what could Supergirl have personally done at that hospital that could have been more important than actually going after the person that caused the building to collapse on everyone? Think about that for a second. What could she have personally done to help anyone who was sick at that hospital? Nothing. What could Alex have done? Sure, Alex could have been there for moral support for Kelly, but no one on Team Supergirl could have done anything that the experts at that hospital were capable of. They couldn't have done anything more than that. So that's where the beginning of this drama starts, with that particular part of the story. So my issue is they wanted to include a COVID storyline in there, which the magic caused the people in this community to have a respiratory problem. And so they wanted that to be combined with this gentrification storyline, which, by the way, is fine. There's no problem with that. It was just they're tackling. They needed more than one episode for this. That's probably the biggest issue with this. Azzy and everyone behind this episode should have gotten more time to tell this story, because one episode they're throwing everything in there that I think needed more time. That's what I think. Mike here says they're treating Supergirl like a ground level hero. Well, here's the deal. Supergirl and Alex and Team Supergirl in general were having things like respirators sent to the hospital and things they could do to help, things that actually could be done. I understand that Kelly wanted support. I get it. But all of that anger directed at the rest of the team, I don't know what else what was more important than that? And it's almost like when they have Barry on The Flash feeling bad because he's doing something big, but he wasn't able to save one or two people. That's really what it is. Yes, Kelly, okay, Rio, yes, Kelly is frustrated, but the anger that she had towards people that were her friends, the way she was upset about that and the way she was blaming them was wrong. It was wrong. I'm asking you again, even if she's frustrated, did they deserve the brunt of all of that because they didn't come stand in the hospital with her? Because that's all they could have done. I'm just wondering. Paige, you probably did fall asleep.
I'm still here. I'm still breathing.
Also, keep in mind, you don't think she was blaming them. Did you watch the same episode? Did you watch the same episode? Every scene was like her on the phone with them, and they were too busy for her. And we didn't get a shot of them doing what they were doing. We got a shot of Kelly being upset. When she had conversations with them, it wasn't following them. It was a shot of Kelly. When they went down to the hospital, when Kelly went with Diggle to the hospital to do something, she got mad at them for not being there. The whole purpose of a team of superheroes is that not everyone can be everywhere at the same time. So people do things independently to help the greater good. People delegate off and do things. In this episode, the way the episode was written and the way it was directed, we as the viewers were supposed to feel like the rest of the team did not care about Kelly. That is the way it was designed, because we could not have had that big ending of it without that being the focal point. Being mad at the councilwoman, 100% accurate. Being mad at Nixley, 100% accurate. Being mad at any of the people that had anything to do with that hospital being understaffed and underfunded, absolutely fantastic. Being mad at her team for trying to go after the person that caused this to happen was not the right thing. But what support, Rio? What could they have personally done that was more important than what they were already doing? Tell me what was more important than going after Nixley to fix whatever was happening to the people that were in the hospital. Because that was ultimately what Supergirl was trying to do. And she even said that. What could they, if they would have stood in that hospital with Kelly, nothing would have happened. Everyone would have probably died. Everyone would have died. They had to split up and handle things separately. By the way, the fight with Kelly and the councilwoman, instead of the councilwoman using her magic to blip Kelly away or to throw her through a building or to teleport her to another place, she manages to pull out a sledgehammer and then has a melee fight with someone when she has magical powers. She melee fought with Kelly when she has magical powers. Explain that to me.
Ew.
Kelly, a brand new hero who has no training,
Yo.
managed to fight someone with magical powers.
Yeah. The wizard versus the apprentice.
I'm just saying, like, come on.
Come
Michael
on.
the 49 Super Chat. MM did a better job talking about the issue in one line, talking about why he presents like the whole Kelly story. And we actually get Martian Manhunter. So there was a scene where John was talking about how he chooses to look like what he wants to look like. I thought it was a great scene, and that he understands why the stigma exists and why there are people from aliens and people of color who have to deal with this, and they don't get a choice for what they look like. It was a brilliant scene. It was well written, well acted. It was a great scene. And this scene alone was one of the best scenes in the episode. The other scene that I really liked was when Kelly was talking with Supergirl. I thought that was a really good scene as well. So my issue with the episode is it was very mid to me. It's very mid to me. The message was good. The intention was good. The subject matter was good. Everything they needed was there in front of them. They need people in the writing room that can help make sense of some of the problems. I don't know if Azzy was capable of completely writing a better episode, because now that Paige has told me that she wrote it with one of the other regular Supergirl writers, that's probably the problem. That's probably what it is. It just, there was a lot of small things that bugged me. These kinds of episodes are tough to critique because I don't dislike the message in them. It just doesn't work sometimes. They wanted to do a COVID episode mixed with an episode on, marginalized groups. They wanted to like combine all of that together in one episode, and I think it just didn't work as one story for me. The councilwoman's powers were draining life energy from the people that lived in that housing development. I mean, come on.
But what if she was white, Eric? Would you be so angry?
Come on. No, she was the bad guy. Everyone should be mad at her. She should be like, you should be directing all of that anger at her. Absolutely. She was a total bitch. She only cared about herself. I have no issue with that. That's one part that I don't have an issue with. I just think that the writing on her was just awful. Awful.
What would you rather watch, Eric, again? This? Or like one of those like Girls Night Out, Run Iris Run episodes?
This. I'd rather watch this.
So there's no need to complain then. That's what
no. I mean, this episode was clearly better than those episodes. My problem.
Clearly, that's a strong.
It was. I mean, because I think it was an important episode. I think that the subject matter they covered was important.
And
Run Iris Run and Girls Night Out is not important subject matter, to be honest. But this episode took. By the way, Azzy, there's a scene at the very end where she's talking to Alex, where Kelly's talking to Alex. She killed it. She was so good in this episode. Like, I really feel like she gave 150, 200% into her character this episode. Kelly was definitely the standout character this week. Absolutely, 100%. I think she was amazing. And I love Azzy. I think she's very outspoken. And I think everything she talks about is super important. As someone who will never understand what it's like to be, you know, someone in a marginalized group in the way that she does, I feel like we should always celebrate and uplift those voices, even if I don't like the execution of the episode. So it's a tough thing for me because I think it's all important. I think it's, if everybody that's watching Supergirl is that loves the show would have totally been there for it. I wanted to feel like a passenger in the car. I wanted to be right beside them in the story. And I feel like
hijacked.
Well, there was a lot of buzzwords. There was a lot of visualizations that were unnecessary, right? Like if you go back and you look at...
I love a good old buzzword. Can you throw a few at me?
Well, I mean, no, because I would get the video would get demonetized probably. But you go back and you look at Stargirl. Stargirl this week was a take on trauma, depression, post-traumatic stress disorders. Like it was, but the thing was, you didn't feel that way because you were invested in the story. You felt like you were riding in the car and you were watching the story unfold in front of you in this car. Whereas for me, Supergirl felt like we were not a part of the story as the viewers, and that they were just reading off buzzwords to us. And that is a script issue that I think could be corrected. It's not something that was impossible to do. That's it. But I do like Kelly as Guardian. I like this suit better than the other one. And I think they're trying to do like a Batwoman take on her. So we'll see how that goes. Mike here says it felt more like Black Lightning show. Well, the thing is, Black Lightning actually does this kind of stuff better. Like, Black Lightning covered topics like this, in my opinion, as a viewer, way better than Supergirl does. Because Supergirl is much better at character moments. They want to be this highbrow, intellectual, social commentary show. They just don't have the ability to do that. I just don't see it. And they're in their final season, so there's no incentive for them to up their game. Because this is it. This is the end of the show. And introducing Kelly as Guardian at this point for like 4 episodes, 5 episodes, however many she's going to be in the suit. I mean, is she moving over to Legends? What's going to happen?
I'll tell you what, whoever is cranking the piano out in this background music is killing it. I feel like I'm in a jazz club.
Oh yeah, we are. We're chilling. What's your take on the Guardian suit? The gold made me bleach. I don't like the gold on the suit. That's probably my only criticism of it. I think the gold is bad, and I think the helmet is a little bit too big. That's just, the helmet's not the worst. We've had worse helmets. I think I have more issues with the Batwing helmet than I do with the Guardian helmet. There's something off about the Batwing helmet. I'm not sure what it is. What would you say is the problem with the Batwing helmet? Something is definitely off with it. Is the color or the material?
It's just the size compared to the fitting of the rest of the suit. It looks like I don't know, it looks like an oversized Lego head. I don't know what the best way to describe it is, but it just feels, it doesn't feel natural.
Yeah.
It's not like, like that's the best way.
I like the hair. The long braided hair looks really cool in the helmet though.
Well, it brings up that whole issue with, like, remember Mr. Terrific put his hair in cornrows.
Oh, yeah.
Cornrows. It's like, how's he doing that so quick?
I'm going to assume that hers is part of the suit, though, is what I'm going to have to say.
Like a Batwoman sort of thing.
Yeah. I would say so. The other thing is Kelly has a distinct mole on her upper lip, and you can see it in the suit. And when she shows up at the hospital to talk to Orlando, it's very visible. She's like, Kelly sent me. And I'd be like,
you are Kelly.
Right.
But I mean, a freaking idiot.
The thing is, though, that we also have to remember that Supergirl gets away with that every single week with no mask whatsoever.
Well, it's just like when she had the bangs last season. It's just like, well, hold on, Kara Danvers has got bangs as well.
Right.
It made no sense why Supergirl would fly around with bangs. It's like flying around with a tattoo, like under your eye. Like,
Joe with the $5. You prickly, I guess picky. Would you like the helmet more if it looked like Smallville? I just would like it to be a little bit smaller. It's just a little bit too big, I think.
The Batwing one?
No, I think he's talking because he says Dr. Fate. I'm assuming he's talking about the Guardian one. I think the Guardian one needs
Well,
to be a
even
little bit.
Kelly's one is that it's too long, like long, like
Mm.
it looks like freaking xenomorph.
Yeah,
That's what it looks like. It's too.
I don't hate the Batwing helmet.
And I think it's xenomorphic because the bottom half is cut out,
Mm.
so you can see how far her face is from the end of the mask.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can honestly slide a hamburger up there and keep it for later. Maybe bacon cheeseburger.
I don't hate the Batwing helmet. It just needs again to be a little bit smaller. Is my only real criticism. Also the fact that Brainy had been making her Guardian suit before, like in the episode we find out that he had been working on a Guardian suit for her. Like, also, why did James send her his suit? Did he just decide not to ever be a hero again?
But didn't he leave the shield back for her?
I think maybe, but he still had the
So,
suit. It's weird.
Yeah,
like I
what was
don't
he
totally
doing? Like,
understand.
maybe he was going on, like maybe he was BMXing or something. I don't know. Needed
Yeah.
the suit because he didn't have the shield. Kelly had that for a couple of seasons.
Yeah. So I am curious. I think this is going to be a divisive episode. So in the chat, what would you score Supergirl from 1 to 10? I'm curious what everybody thinks of it. Because I don't think it was an inherently bad episode. I think that it just didn't stick the landing in most of the dialogue for me.
Ooh, edgy.
I mean, I've already given my reasons for it. Oh, yeah, they had... Oh, yeah, by the way, Lena was still like learning to be a witch or whatever, and she does Ignis and fire starts or whatever. There's a little scene with that. And so she goes back to National City, and by the time she gets back there, they had made a delivery of a magic book to her. Like the mail had delivered a magic book, and I'm like, how did that get there before she did?
You an idiot? Magic mail. I think.
Is it magic mail?
Yeah,
it's like Hogwarts now. Is that
I think it's a division of FedEx.
I agree, Laura. I think Alex needs a mask rather than makeup. I totally agree. So if you think this is edgy, guys, wait until my video tomorrow. Wait until my video for tomorrow. There was an article about Eric Wallace's plans for Iris in season 8, and I made
it's not an article. Isn't it an article? It's just it's a question.
It's a quote from, I guess, another interview, but he talks about it.
I was going to say, because I was trying to pinpoint, and people, because I said someone put let Paige react to that article. I'm like, article? Like, wasn't it just a question?
Yeah. I did a whole video on it because it hit me the wrong way last night when I was streaming. When we were doing a member stream, I was like, I'm just going to talk about it here, and then I've recorded it. So I'm going to upload it as a video because it was definitely hashtag triggering for me. And I'm going to go in and try and figure out what's wrong with my Stargirl video. So hopefully that'll get uploaded tomorrow as well. Zend here says, I like what they did with Batwoman cowl and hair for this season.
Is that the same?
I mean, I felt like it was, unless they made the hair shorter or something.
I know there's differing things. There's one where her hair's like, it doesn't seem it's like poofy, like doesn't go as wide, but I think it's meant to be wet. And that's why it's down. Because I mean, maybe shot. And then like even the poster for this season, it's out. It's like season 2 was. So
yeah.
Me confuso.
Yeah. Julian says, I don't like Alex's Sentinel. I don't have a problem with it. I just don't like the face, the hood part of it. I wish it was something else.
Wish it was something else. Yeah,
I totally wish. So I guess we don't really have it's 1 hour and 20 minutes in. We don't have much else to talk about because Ben's not here, and I think I've said everything I need to say about Supergirl. I'm actually surprised that most people weren't triggered by what I was saying because a lot of people misunderstand when I give my opinion about stuff. So
I think it's because you don't speak clearly.
Probably
tend to mumble.
I need to talk slowly.
I need banana.
So John's just not having a secret identity. Does it matter, really? That's why I didn't really talk about it much with Kelly, because I don't think it really matters, honestly.
It always matters, Eric.
I saw the Batwoman trailer. Did you see the newest Batwoman trailer? The one with Mad Hatter and I think Killer Croc in it.
I think so. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be doing a story similar to what Gotham season 3. Wasn't season 3 the one with the Mad Hatter gang or whatever? Wasn't that the one? Wasn't that season 3 of Gotham?
Yeah, but it seems like the Mad Hatter's hat is just like a thinking cap, like DeVoe, but it turns you into the Mad Hatter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or something.
Camgraph says, I didn't agree with what you said. I'm just too tired to rant about it here. Well, I mean, I don't know what possibly could have been disagreed with other than maybe you don't agree that it was very preachy. Everything else kind of happened, you know. I mean, so
Edgy.
you'll have to tell us on Twitter. I saw your tweets about it, and actually, I didn't tweet about it specifically because I wanted to talk about it here because I'm like, I'd rather just talk about it. You know, I'm very congratulations, Azzy. It's a great thing to have a chance to like co-write an episode, and she did amazing in the episode. I don't know what else I can say. I mean, except that I just didn't like the way that
you can apologize for being very offensive, Eric, in this stream.
I'm super offensive. I'm so sorry.
You know what? You can sit down there, look yourself in the mirror, and go, "Why?
I know. Hold on,
why am I like this?
Do I have a mirror somewhere around here?
I'm really confused. I'm really concerned you had a mirror.
I was waiting. That was That was set up, guys.
Yeah. So that was that. We just played the long game with that joke. We set that up 2 hours ago.
I set it down there a while back. So yeah, the Batwoman trailer looks exciting. I'm really hoping that this season of Batwoman focuses more on Ryan, because I know that we're gonna have Alice, but now we don't have the Kate Kane thing. Hopefully, I'm keeping my fingers crossed we don't have Kate Kane like hanging out over the season.
Episode 3, she comes back.
I know. Apparently, there's some drama with Wallace and something she said about Ryan, about Javicia. I saw something about that on social media. I never know. Stuff just happens so often.
I wouldn't trust social media.
I need to start a drama alert for the CW stuff. Yeah. That's what I need to do. Let me ask this question. I am very curious. This is just solely for us to kind of basically take a little gauge here of the audience. How many people would watch a weekly show where I get on and Paige joins me and we talk about drama from the shows?
Well, how about this? I think it's drama from the shows and also people's reactions to the show. So you do social media roundup.
Like we could go to Twitter, type in like hashtags and
just type in like just type in hashtag the Flash, hashtag West Ellen, hashtag Batwoman.
We could go to Reddit. We could go to 4chan.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh god. And well, how about this? Eric's the main host, so he's in the newsroom, and I'll do the location reports. So I'll go down.
I have a green screen wall over here. I have a green screen wall, so I would basically move the microphone over there and just shoot in front of it.
I'll just go to some random people. How did you feel about the most recent West Ellen moment?
Yeah.
Just some random old woman.
I think it would be funny. I mean, obviously I wouldn't call it drama alert because that's just not what I would do, but I would do it. So not a weekly show, but maybe a segment. The problem is with the segment, people may not want to sit through like
in the after party
20 minutes of drama, 30 minutes of drama. Yeah.
But you can choose to click on that video or not.
Right. So I think doing a weekly show would be better for that. Like not necessarily live either. We might do it. Here's a question. Would you want it live or would you want it recorded? That's the next question on that one. So I'm curious.
I think it's better if it's recorded. I don't know if live would be the best.
Because we could actually edit the recording and put in funny stuff, which I think would be hilarious. Or we could record it and then play it back live and then just sit in the chat and talk to people and pretend like we're here. How about that?
Oh,
that would be
if anything's going to get you canceled, it's going to be that, Eric. It's going to be that.
So it could be, absolutely. I think it would be funny if people didn't take it too seriously. That's the thing, is people would have to remember it. I would be doing it as a joke. It wouldn't be something that would be like totally serious. But people can't really take jokes anymore. So I probably would get canceled for that 100%. Before we go, though, we did ask earlier if we had the opportunity to write an episode of a show, what would that episode be like? And I think we saw Flash more than anything. So if we had the opportunity in any season to write like a interlude episode, something just like a one-off episode, what would we do?
Oh, what would mine be? What we? I'm trying to think what would be the elements that we could both put together that would make it a Would the aim of our episode be to trigger?
I don't know. Say we're basing it in season 8. So in season 8, we know that Iris is dealing with her time sickness, and we know what characters we have access to. So we would do an interlude episode for season 8. So like a one-off episode. What would that episode be? It would have to be a filler episode because I mean we can't we'd have to, being part of a
Yeah, what
graphic novel wouldn't
what
work.
do you think? What about the Mysteries of Apartment 4?
Okay.
I'm thinking we actually open up the door to Apartment 4,
Mhm.
and it's the cliffhanger from the previous episode. So we tell the previous writers that, like, okay, you got to end on episode 4. So you got to end with
A
Barry
flash,
entering.
like the door opening for apartment 4.
Yeah,
him
no,
walking
like
in
it just
front
like Barry's going to his apartment. He's like, he turns around, the door starts to open itself, some sort of like horror movie stuff, and then it
Alright.
fades to black, and that's it. But we pick up Barry turns around, walks towards it, gets sucked in. He's going to be able to exit at the end of the episode,
Right.
but it's almost like an enter flash time, but enter apartment 4, and inside are warped versions of either Arrowverse characters specifically or Flash characters. So one, and this will probably get the episode cancelled, is actually a I'm not going to say it. I think this might be too edgy.
Don't get canceled here.
Hold on, I'm going to type in the private chat.
Okay, hold on. I'm worried about this one now.
Okay, I'm just putting that in the private chat. Let me know if we read that.
No.
Is there any way you can say that and censor it?
I mean, there are ways, but I'm not saying it. Like, think outside the box if you're going to say it. Do not use that word.
What, the
I word?
The
Do not use that word. No. The I word. Barry and Iris. The I word.
Well, no, I didn't put that there. That's Eric making that up. I didn't put that there.
No, you did put that. You did put it. You did put that there.
Okay. Let's end the segment.
Okay. So for me, here is how the episode was. So we would do that one, and that would be your episode because you had the idea for that, not me. That's yours.
No,
so
get fucked.
So if I had my own episode, right, it would be everyone's left the city except for Barry. He's left by himself at Star Labs, and he's going to take the day off. He's like, I have some time to myself. Going to sit around. I'm going to go on Reddit, do an AMA.
This sounds like 18 plus adult rated.
No, it's not. But then all of a sudden, he gets an alert. There is something going on, and he has to handle it by himself. No pep talks. No one else is there. He gets on the computer. He starts speed typing quickly to try and figure out what's going on. And as he researches, he sees that someone is breaking in to the pencil plant in Central City where they make pencils. And he can't figure out like what's going on. Who would break into a pencil plant and what would they want with all of those pencils? So he puts on his suit. He runs to the pencil plant to face off against the greatest threat that has ever happened. Folding Paper Man is there. And he's ready to face off against Barry Allen as the Flash. He has to fight Folding Paper Man. Right? That's good, right?
Well, my episode would be that it's Barry by himself. He goes to fight crime. The episode's over in 10 minutes because he couldn't talk to anyone.
Okay. Well, in this one, Barry has a hard time defeating Folding Paper Man because he doesn't have the rest of the team with him. And Folding Paper Man can be very deadly because he can fold his body into sheets of paper.
Well, that's the thing. Hold on. We're going to have to do some
How do you
research
stop
here.
someone that can turn their body into sheets of paper? How do you stop someone like that?
Well, hey, if you fold a piece of paper 42 times, it can get you from Earth to the moon. So he's risking... This is Folding Paper's threat to the Flash, is that he's willing to fold himself not just 42 times, but 94 foldings of a piece of paper would make something the size of the entire universe. So he's willing
people
to do
think
that.
I'm joking, but look up Folding Paper Man. He is a real character.
Wait, is that Shockman?
No, but there is folding paper.
Oh, what's this? Chock full of nuts.
Well, absolutely. What I would, all jokes aside, what I would do with the Flash episode is I would do an episode with just Barry by himself. The rest of the team would be gone, and he would have to function as the Flash by himself. There's a case. The police department is out looking up something. He has to figure things out using his CSI techniques. That leads him to some sort of villain they've never faced off before that is very dangerous for him, and he has no one helping him. He has to do it all by himself. And it's an episode with the Flash being the Flash and being a smart character. That would be an ideal episode for me, to be completely honest. Chock full of nuts. No, Barry would not have to give a pep talk to himself. It's actually confirmed that if you take out all the pep talks, the episodes are exactly the same, but with less cringe. That's confirmed. Irrefutable.
You know the irony though is if we got a pep talk in Love is a Battlefield, we would have skipped out the Love is a Battlefield scene. So tit for tat.
There's also a character named Bootface.
Is that like Goldface, but with a boot?
With a boot in his face. Yeah, I think he's a Batman villain.
Well, has he got a boot for a face?
No, he's got a boot print on his face.
Oh, we should have called him like Roadkill or something, or Yo got trampled or something.
I don't even know if he has powers. Let me see.
Well, probably some brain issues, I guess, if he got trampled on, or at least a broken nose.
Yeah, I think he's just got a boot print on his face.
Okay, well here we go. So, do you want to do a quick would you rather?
Back to this again.
Okay.
All right.
This is Would you rather have an encounter with Ivan Milat or the Snowtown dudes?
Oh no. Neither.
No, you have to choose. It's not neither. There's no option for neither.
I mean, both of them are death, so there is no would you rather. It's
well, I don't know. With the Snowtown gang, you could potentially, get on their side. However, then you'd have to be doing the Snowtown stuff.
Right. I don't know. This reminds me of white chicks where they're always asking, what would you rather? And then the other guy doesn't ever answer it because I feel like I'm always the one being asked this question. I don't know which one. I have no idea. Dealer's choice, I guess.
Well, so I'm choosing.
Yeah. Well,
just for the meme and just for the, I guess, pure horror of being one-on-one, let's go Ivan Milat.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to know, there is a movie loosely based on that story.
It's a mixture. Well, Wolf Creek is a mixture between Ivan Milat and the what was her name? What was the guy's name that died?
Mm-hmm.
Outback Murder.
This is one for you and the chat.
Oh, Peter Falconio.
This is one for you and the chat.
For me, hold on.
It's on the screen.
Wonder Woman 1984.
I'm saying.
Give me a hard one. Give me a hard one now.
Clip that, someone. Clip that, please.
Give me a hard one.
Especially with this as the screenshot there.
Chock full of nuts. I'm a bit surprised that chock full of nuts is a coffee. Is it nutty coffee or something?
Because I can't really see what it is there. I thought it was just a thing of nuts there.
Premium coffee since 1932 or whatever it is.
Yeah. So, look, Wonder Woman 84 doesn't last as long. Get over it quick. Yeah, maybe possibly. I don't know. All right, so we're going to get out of here. We will see everyone. I'll see everybody live on Sunday, and we'll see everyone next week for the after party. And that's it. Say goodbye to the chock full of nuts and be jealous that you can't have some. 5 Guys soon, though. So expect a report on that after Paige gets his hashtag second shot.
No, even then I can't go. I don't know. I think there's another one opening up somewhere.
Oh, okay. Wait. Or is this their first time ever in Australia?
Yeah, out in Penrith.
Oh.
The thing is, though, that 5 Guys is already expensive in America. Mm-hmm. So when they adjust to Australian prices, it's like $16 for a hamburger.
Well, there we go. All right, we're out of
Except
here.
I know they do
Yeah.
free refills, which no place in Australia ever does. None of the fast food restaurants
Oh.
here do free refills. I think they're the only ones.
In America, almost everywhere does that.
Oh, Hungry Jack's or Burger King, man. They used to do it, and then they stopped.
Well, R.I.P. the dream. So, anyway, out of here. See everybody later. Bye.
Floss.